in the travel industry, we start noticing this concert-related travel starting in, I would say, right after COVID, so 2023-ish.
Yeah.
Right, that's where the booms start happening. We're now coining it, live tourism.
Live tourism.
Yeah, people are just going places because they're live events.
Yeah.
Now, do you see any sort of new habits or user behaviors that's triggering you to adjust your venues or events to meet their needs?
The biggest change we've seen since post-COVID was actually the requirement for more premium tickets. In the old days before COVID, premium was always seen as maybe corporate hospitality, where people were for business use, etc. That has completely changed now. We're saying actually more people that when they're going to buy a ticket actually want to spend a bit more money on a more premium ticket that might include some food, might include faster access or parking or merch included, etc., or a better seat. And it's come from nowhere. And people are willing to spend that extra money for that purpose. We're changing our premium offerings now in all our venues, moving away from the normal corporate 24-seater box that would have been to more entertainment areas where there's lots of people sharing premium spaces in a different way. We just opened a new space at the Ep2 called the 93rd by Qatar Airways, which basically for us drives more revenue from selling the tickets, but it's a complete different experience for the consumer than going to and some of those people that go are still the corporate audience and people will buy tickets, but there's lots of people that are buying event by event who are just going to the show and want a better experience than a standard seat.
Yeah, people are just looking for a good time. They want to spend their money where it's worth it. So.
Yeah, we've seen that. I think statistically, people go to 2.3 shows per year. It's the day of the year or the night of the year that they might take a half day off work. They'll be with their friends. They'll have some money in their pocket, and it's going to create memories that it's their act who hasn't toured for 2 or 3 years. So yeah, it's a very special thing going to a live entertainment experience. And when you said that, what's so good about working for AEG, I think that's it. Our company motto is giving the world reason to cheer, and I think that's a lovely thing to be a part of.
And the research I mentioned earlier basically shows that what things people are willing to give up. And, they won't give up holidays and they won't give up going to concerts, but they will give up other things in their lives. But they won't give up. Right at the top of the list is holidays and concerts because they need that experience. They need that breakaway from their normal life to continue that, which is great music to our ears because that's what the business we're in.
Fantastic. So among all the audience around the world, right, are there any real difference between a 25-year-old from Seoul or Berlin or LA? If so, how are you guys making the changes that's needed to make sure they're covered?
I think that, the core needs of fans is the same. Obviously, they react differently. It's amazing. I remember seeing Taylor Swift in Japan, and it was a great experience. But the thing that got me the most was right at the end, everyone stayed in their seats, and then walked out in rows. It was like being at school. Everyone was very organised. Where you go to a show in the O2, there's a fight to get out afterwards, and it's a different way of people experiencing it. However, when they're watching the show and the passion is exactly the same. And people want, and the other thing, the trend we're seeing as well is how, and it came out in our report, of when people are going to see a show, is they want to feel part of a community. And they want to, and then people are now dressing up to feel like that community. So for instance, there's an artist called Pitbull. When he plays at our venues, nearly 80% of the venue are wearing like a bald wig. And black
80%?
ties. Yeah, black ties. It's a business to be in, is creating all these wigs. And people want to be and feel part of the community. And the same happened with, I've forgotten the artist's name now, but people will dress. And I know it from my own kids. I have 3 daughters, so it's very expensive. But when they go to see a show, they want to, the first thing it says, I need an outfit because, and I'm like, being the dad going, you're not wearing that. And then I take them to the show and I realize that everyone's wearing the same thing. So I think that's the crazy thing. People want to feel part of a community while they go to the show. And that is a part of how they dress, what they do before and after a show. And I think that's the same around the world.
Yeah, there's definitely some consistencies in fan behavior depending on the genre of artist that's playing. But then there are also certain restrictions that may exist at Mercedes-Benz Arena in Shanghai that don't exist in other areas, and that can impact the fan behavior within the arena. But no, people are having a good time all around the world.